Oh my God, look what's going on here.
Oof.
Oh,
All
yikes.
right, I'll do this because I don't want Josh to butcher it. Actually, Josh, go ahead.
Okay, Rumi's road call.
Road?
Damn.
Jesus. Rumi's roll call. How would substitute teacher Garvey pronounce these nicknames? These Knicks names. Nicknames.
Okay, so
Knicks names.
the first one would be Tom. Because if it said Thomas, it would be Thomas. But it doesn't. It says Tom, so it's just Tom. It could be if I'm trying to squeeze every ounce out of it, it would be Tome. All right, so I would say Tome, Thibodeau, or Thibodeau. Thibodeau is how I would say that one. OG, Anunabi. Okay. Precious was a perfectly ordinary name. That's what people's names should be. Precious. Achiuwa. Achiuwa. But look at this name right here. Now what? Ariel Hukaporte. What? Does that say his name right? Hukaporte. It's a Hukaporte.
Huckporty.
I would probably put an extra syllable in there. I would be Ariel Hukaporte. Where's Ariel? Where'd I get that from? Ariel Hukaporte. Pascame Daddyette? Where's Pascame Daddyette at? Are you up in here? And Laundry. Where is Laundry Shamit? Where the hell is Laundry Shamit at here? You better not be in the Soap and Suds. Laundry Shamit. Laundry Shamit. Is it Landry Shamet?
Landry Shamet.
It is Shamet.
It's Shamet.
Shamet. All right.
It's funny, you actually got...
Did I get that?
We got Pacone's last name right.
Daddier.
Is it Daddier?
Yeah.
Daddier. Not Daddiette.
He said
Yeah,
Daddier.
Did I say Daddiette? Oh, I tried to put the T in it because I
He
thought.
did put the T in it.
Okay.
He did.
But it's not. There is. You don't pronounce the T in his name,
No.
right?
Nah.
Did I say Pakumi?
Frenchman.
Pascame, I think you said.
Pascame. Yeah, that's just because I don't have my glasses. I smushed a little S in there, but Pascame. Where's Pascame Daddy at? Where's he from?
France.
France.
Oh, he's from France. He's French.
He's French.
Okay.
For OG, I thought you were going to say Og.
That's what I thought too. I thought I was like,
Let me do it. Watch this. Watch this. Where is Og Anunabi? Is Og Anunabi up in here? I think something else that I find very, very fascinating is this fact that our vocations are very similar because they're both performance based.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I love hearing about people's processes and how they go about doing what they do because it's very simple. We have to prep. Actors prep. You got to prep. It's repetition. It's the same thing. It's very similar. They're very similar jobs from a mental standpoint. You know,
Who's the most intense actor you've worked with in terms of their prep? Because I feel like you hear all the time about actors just losing themselves in roles, right? And even when the camera stops, they go back to their trailer. They're still the character for those couple months. You know,
it's interesting. I've not had that. Honestly, I can't think of really else thinking too. I haven't, because the majority of my work on camera is comedic. You try the tone you're trying to set on a set comedically, especially if a lot of people in the show are improvisers, is you want it to be loosey-goosey and free, and you don't get a lot of people just like. You don't get a lot of that. Right. So I don't, that's a hard question for me to answer. Yeah. I don't know. And even someone who's so good and so versatile like Timothée Chalamet, I was in Wonka, this movie Wonka with Timothée Chalamet. Even Timmy, he changes his process based on the kind of movie he's making. So there's a buoyancy, there's a lightness to Wonka. He brought that to that role. Call Me By Your Name, a different process. I know Bob Dylan was a completely different process where he's playing oh my God, we did a sketch. Because you guys know who Lando Calrissian is from the original Star Wars movies?
Yes, I do.
Empire Strikes Back?
Unfortunately, y'all,
I know you don't.
I haven't.
If you saw him, you'd recognize him. His name, Billy D. Williams is his name. He's an old man now, but he was.
I'm sorry, it's so sad. It's really sad.
They're not educated.
It's sad.
But there was a character, an actor. In the late 60s and 70s, he was a badass. His name was Billy D. Williams. Oh, yeah. And he was the coolest man that ever lived. And he used to do these commercials for a malt liquor. And he'd go, smooth, cool, Schlitz, what was it, huh? Colt 45. It goes down smooth. And he was like the coolest dude ever. And he's in the original Star Wars movies. And he came to set one day. He's in character all the time because he's a personality. Billy D. Williams never played a character in the movies he was in. He always plays Billy D. Williams. You went to buy your ticket to the movie because you want to see Billy D. Williams. You don't want to see him get lost like Robert De Niro. You know, Robert De Niro gets lost in a character and he's different in the voice. It's not that. He was a movie star. He's an actor, but you know what I mean? The difference between someone who has a personality and somebody who gets lost in their characters like a chameleon. And Billy D. Williams came to set to do this sketch. He did a sketch for us. And he showed up, he drives up in his Mercedes and he comes up to the trailer and he gets out and he's got on these like flowy silk black pants and this silk black shirt and he has like a colorful scarf. And he gets out of his car and the guy who runs our base camp, he walks up, he goes, Mr. Williams, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Elliot. I want to welcome you to the set. Also wanted to ask you if you brought any wardrobe with you today. Billy D. Williams looked at him and he looked down at himself and he went, you're looking at it, man. And then he just went over and got into his trailer and then and he's like, this is what I'm wearing. I don't care, this is what I'm wearing to do the sketch. And he had to be someplace the whole day. It was hilarious. So every time like we do the scene and then Billy's doing the thing and everything's happening and then they say cut. And he goes, guys, what time is it? Billy, bro, it's like 4 minutes after the last time. The last time you asked, he's like, because I gotta go. I gotta be in Santa Monica at 1 p.m. So what's that? What's that freeway right there? That's the 10, Billy. I could take the 10 to the 110. I'll be there in 30 minutes. How much longer are we gonna be here? Like maybe another hour? Oh, guys, I gotta go. He's just like, so maybe Billy D. Williams is the guy because he was like in character because that is his character. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
But otherwise, it's this kind of situation. Those guys were screwing around all the time because it's film. Right. You just get as much footage as you can, and then Adam McKay, who's a genius, who directed Step Brothers, you put together the best part, and they found their chemistry. It's some actors. I prepared my thing, you prepared your thing, and then they clash, and that clash is the chemistry. But these guys, and mostly in the comedic world, you want that flow, you want that pop, pop, pop. You know what I mean? Like when you guys are like when you're in transition and the ball just comes out of your hands, you don't even know, you just know it's gonna be there. And then whatever, fucking Cat or OG, it's an alley-oop. It just happens. It just flows. It just flows. Yeah.
This is a segment we do every episode where we'll react to things that happened recently, not always recently, social media. Just so feel free to react as you would.
Okay, so what you're seeing me do right here, this is me kicking a field goal at the Coliseum in LA for a television show that I did, that Elle and I did. And you could see me like, if you can back it up, is there a way to back it up? Okay, right here at the beginning, first of all, my heart beating out of my chest. But this thing here where I'm shaking my head and I'm doing this thing with my arms, when the guys taught me to kick the field goal, first of all, the 3 guys who taught me to kick a field goal have never kicked a field goal in their life. An offensive lineman and 2 a wide receiver and a running back. Have ever been on special teams. And they're like, you got to have a ritual. And I'm like, I don't know about a ritual. I just need to keep my eye on the ball. And so they said, no, you got to have a ritual. So I went out there and I just did this little, I just went, oh. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. And then, so I backed up and I just did whatever I've seen field goal kickers do my whole life, which is back up and then go 2 steps to the right. And then I could, and I got it. I got it. I think it was, and oh my God, I was so happy. I think that, and I mean like the Coliseum, I don't know how many people the Coliseum holds, but there were probably at that point in time, probably 40,000 people.
Packed.
Wow.
It's packed. And so I went to kick and I'm like, I don't know how to do a chips. I don't know how to put the English. I don't know how to do all that. I'm just going to kick it straight up like they used to do back in the like in the day, like in the 60s.
Yeah. Charlie Brown
like
style.
Charlie Brown style. I'm just going to kick it straight up. And you see it hooked a little bit, but because I was so close, it hooks a little bit. It pulls to the left, but it gets through before anything else happens. Oh my God. It's like I don't think I have been that nervous. I was more nervous doing that than I was at my debut on Broadway. Like
Really?
20 times more nervous.
I can see that.
You know what I mean?
I can see that.
That's hilarious.
If you were doing that, if you were going to be in a movie, wouldn't you be twice as? Wouldn't that be more nerve wracking
For sure.
than if you were in the finals?
Yeah.
That would you'd be more nerve. It was so nerve wracking. Oh my god, I was so happy I made it.
It's like being on the court like during the playoffs. Like you're like, all right, I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
When I went out there for WWE, man, my heart was
Just pounded,
racing,
right? Yeah.
racing. I was just like, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Yeah. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. Oh, there you go. That's the first starring role I ever had. So if you see the picture with the tie, the skinny tie. So look at on the next page, on the other side of the page, there is my yearbook, and that top picture is me playing Jesus in Godspell. And right there, that was it. That cemented it for me. When I was a sophomore in high school, I was in a musical called Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, written by Andrew Lloyd Webber, and I had a little small part in it. But I loved the community, and I loved the fun of it, and I loved the singing. And then the next year when I was a junior, I got the lead in Godspell. I played Jesus in Godspell. That was it. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I was going to go to school. I was going to be a veterinarian, live my life, have a practice, or whatever, you know. And then I did this, and I met my drama teacher, and she got me into theater, and I played Jesus in Godspell. Done. I was done. That was it. I knew I'm going to go to college. I'm going to study acting. I'm going to go start a theater. I didn't know what I was going to do, but it was going to be theater. I was done. Never had another thought in my mind to do anything else the rest of my life. Look at me looking like straight Will Smith up in here. Look at that.
Yeah, right.
We got some fan questions. Oh, okay. Ben Stiller.
What?
Why does Keegan have the coolest holiday parties in New York? And why no Knicks about? Wow, I didn't know you had holiday parties.
Wait a minute. So it says at Ben Stiller. This is a tweet from Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
He says, why does Keegan have the coolest holiday parties in New York and why no Knicks invited? Knicks were invited. Both of these Knicks were invited.
Were you here in town?
You weren't in town.
Oh, okay.
And you,
Mallory.
wait a minute, you were both out of town.
Okay.
You guys were both out of town. Right, and then you had a game before. In that party, they had a game the night before. You had a game the night before, and you had to travel the next day or something. Or you were going. No, you were going. You were invited. I can't remember where you were, but I think you had gone out of town for the holidays.
Holidays?
No, it was like our Hanukkah / Christmas brunch. And Matt, you'll be invited next.
Oh, wait.
Let's go. Do you guys do it every year?
Last month.
We came home for like 2 days for Christmas, obviously, to play the game. But we were on the road before, and we were on the road
right after.
Right after.
Yeah.
That's what it was. But you guys were both invited. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know Ben. I don't know if Ben's watching this. But I didn't know, Ben, that I would have offered that information to you. I would have told you that. I mean, we'll invite the whole team next time.
It's that time of year again. Time to hype up our favorite underwear. Josh, what underwear you got on over there?
You think I'm going to show you? It's my Tommy John second skin. My post-game ritual always starts with Tommy John, the most comfortable underwear I've ever worn. They're comfortable, breathable, and lightweight, and don't ride up.
Me personally, I like zero distractions. So if it's lightweight, comfortable, that's what I need. We know I am going to play well when I got my Tommy Johns on.
Once you get yours, you'll see why Tommy John sold over 20 million pairs of their high-quality underwear.
With thousands of 5-star reviews, Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics, like me. Get 25% off site-wide at TommyJohn.com/roomies.
Breaking news from Bet365. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Sign up, deposit $10, place a bet for $5, and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and so much more. Whenever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.